Welcome to the Festival State Rugby 7's. We are about to get underway with the bowl final between the NRLSA current premiers, Southern Bulldogs, and a local union team, Burnside. I'm David Muggleton. Calling the game with me today is David Webb.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. And yourself?
I'm not too bad at all. I'm enjoying the day. I'm looking forward to finals rugby. We're at the pointy end now.
We definitely are. Now, there's been a couple of large scores combined up alongside some very low scores as some of the strongest teams versed off against the weakest, but now finally we actually have some proper matchups with equally talented teams going off against each other, and it looks like Burnside are going to be off to a flying start in this match.
It looks like they are, and he's gone. He's given the try. The referee said he wasn't held. I think that's what the Southern Bulldogs are going to be asking. Surely the tackle was made short of the line, but maybe not. Maybe he got out of that tackle and managed to wriggle away.
It was a good chase down there by the Bulldogs. They definitely...
It was, and he wasn't held. I mean, he's got to complete that tackle. So once he goes to the ground, he needs to be held. So you can see that the tackle falls off him. So he can go again. That's not a major problem.
Now, you mentioned before that the Southern Bulldogs were going to be asking a couple of questions with that. In all honesty, I think it's pretty fair to be saying that the Southern Bulldogs are going to be asking a lot of questions throughout the game. Throughout the course of the day, there has definitely been some confusion as some of them never played union before in their lives. A lot of very league boys out there.
Yeah, and I think Rugby 7's probably sits a little bit better with the Rugby Union boys, the Rugby League boys, sorry. Just how quick it is, and it's probably more of a Rugby League type of game than union.
Well, they do have a couple, I think 2 union boys from the Onkaparinga Devils in there, Reese Gerd, of course, being one of them. And I think he helped the boys out, but basically saying the whole point of Rugby 7's, if you're a league player, is pretend you're on 5th and last tackle all the time.
That's basically
and as soon as they've kind of got that, earlier in the game they were doing a lot of big hit-ups, and then losing the ball in the ruck every single time.
Yeah, and Burnside looking to, they've broken the line again and they've gone in again.
So Burnside off to a flying start, kicking things off 10-0.
And that's Sean Meredith, who is going to represent South Australia. He'll be in the state team as it comes up. It's a much quicker game than certainly 15-a-side rugby union. So I'm looking forward to it. And 2 South Australian sides in the bowl final. So with a successful conversion, takes it up to 12-0. Yeah, it's a warm day as well. So while the halves up until now have been 7 minutes, now they've gone into 10 minutes. So it's not easy. Like you would say, it's only 10-minute halves. You would think, well, that's a rest, but it's hard work.
Now Bulldogs are definitely going to have to start finding something here.
Yeah, again, like we say 10 minutes, but 10 minutes in 7's is a long time, so they've got plenty of time. So the kickoff went straight out, so we start with a free kick on halfway.
Now here is Hade Tumai, one of the superstars from the Bulldogs in league, fastest man in league.
Well, there you go. As he should be with boots like that. That's a good show and go from the big fella. He's on his way.
Francis Wapau.
And he dots it down for the Southern Bulldogs' first score.
I think they definitely would have liked to have gotten a little bit closer underneath the post. Conversions are definitely going to be a prominent issue, especially with this Bulldog side, as they're very, very accustomed to using the tee.
Yeah, and that's the same with rugby union. I think dropping goals is, it's a new thing. But I would say that at most levels, like even up to sort of Olympic level, once you sort of get out, the conversions they're not as kicking a goal is not as important in 7's as it is in 15's. But you're right, those 2 points can make all the difference. So the try-scoring team restarts, which is different to 15's. I think it's the same as Rugby League. It's probably the one advantage that they had, that they were used to that.
Burnside off to another run here.
Yeah, and 7's is all about space, exploiting space, finding the space, getting into it, working to get yourself overlap. the biggest enemy in 7's is contact. You don't want to lose that ball in contact, so you need to be able to generate the time and space that you need.
That was a good bit of defense there by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I mean, and as you saw there, normally when we watch rugby, you would expect him to sort of put his head down and run at that space, and you know, he took some time and he came back. As you rightly said, it's got that look of 5 and last as Burnside break through the middle again, dot down under the posts. And up in the air for a substitution. You'll see a lot of that in 7's.
A lot more sprinting than they used to.
Yeah, it's a lot of repeat efforts. It's that anaerobic burst, and then rest, and then the anaerobic burst, and then rest. And
that was Dane Keeper from the Southern Bulldogs putting in the chase.
12 members in a 7's squad, and they certainly worked their way through it.
That conversion successful. It puts Burnside 19 to the Southern Bulldogs 5.
See, again, it's just waiting for that gap to open up, and as soon as that gap opens up, taking that opportunity, and off you go. I think this is Michael Maloney, who's guesting from the Barossa. He's one of the Barossa Rams players, and he's guesting for them. That's a good take and restart. And a little bit of confusion there at the ruck, which is obviously...
Surprisingly, they have actually gotten a lot better to what they were doing in their pool games. In the pool games, it was just absolute raw confusion, as they're very accustomed to just
that one up,
just getting up and
that one up football where it's, you know, just make sure you don't lose the ball and you can die with it. Well, here he goes. Here's your fast man. Fortunately, the door closed on him a little bit. Good offload though. Again, not held, so he could have gone.
Lose the ball on the ruck.
And again, you see them just looping backwards and taking their time and looking for spaces. And that step has created the space for him, and off he goes.
Now, we've of course hit half-time, so as soon as this play is done, the teams will each be taking a 1-minute break before they come back reverse sides.
Yeah, again, there's no great big break for them, unfortunately.
A minute breather can do a lot. And Bulldogs in a bit of trouble at the moment. So it's 24-5 with the conversion to come. And you'd imagine that this should be a reasonably safe conversion, although with the drop kick,
there we go.
You can never be too certain.
That's your fault. We're going to take that.
I did, yeah, no, I'll own that. Curse. Happy to own it. So both the teams will take a short break, and as will we, and we'll be back momentarily for the second half of this Festival State Rugby 7's bowl final between the Southern Bulldogs and Burnside. Welcome back to the Festival State Rugby 7's. We're here with the bowl final, Southern Bulldogs versus Burnside, and Burnside definitely had pretty much control of the game in that first half, 24-5.
They did, but if you can score 24 and a half, so can they.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't get too concerned if I was the Southern Bulldogs. Again, they've got pace there, they've got power there. I think to be honest, it's just a little bit of rugby IQ. It's a little bit of 7's IQ for them. I think if they kept at it, then they could do something in a 7's tournament.
And there's always the magic of the halftime where halftime, a couple of the more experienced Union boys could have had a quick word.
Yeah. I mean, and he was half, that's a half gap there, and unfortunately the referee's got him for not releasing in the ruck. I think the intricacies of the ruck may cause the Southern Bulldogs some issues, but it's a dark art, the ruck, at the moment.
I think just critically the Bulldogs just need to try and avoid tackles.
Yeah, see, no, that's good because they've got the penalty for exactly the same thing. Holding on in the ruck, and that's part of the problem with 7's is because you don't have the same level of support. You're very isolated when you get to that tackle situation.
Francis Powell putting the run in.
That's a good tackle. That's a great little tackle.
Tried to get the offload, but unfortunately went to a Burnside hand. Nice and now Dane Keeper's snuck out with it. Sneaky offload. Bulldogs looking a little bit dangerous here, although ball's still in play.
Still in play.
Now Hardy again trying to put the speed on. Legs have been wrapped up. Good offload there to our friend Reese Gerd, who rolls over the line.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Reese Gerd. Yes. That's a nice little offload. What I will say, Hare needs to get his head up a little bit earlier, I think. I mean, I think if he'd had a look to the left, he would have seen an overlap, maybe. It's a good offload. I'm not taking anything away from the offload.
It was a very nice little offload there. Ooh,
that's quite possibly one of the worst conversion attempts I've ever seen in rugby.
I could probably put together a nice little catalogue of all of the bad conversion attempts from the pool rounds. There were definitely a few.
I'm not taking anything away from Harry's offload. I'm not taking anything away from that. I think if it, just from a 7's point of view, if he just got his head up, he probably would have seen the numbers outside. That's gone 10. That's a good challenge.
Oh, magnificent. That's Fitzgerald, who's actually from the Central Roosters, his home team. The fierce rivals of the Bulldogs, but here they are working together. And just like that, this game has really just closed right in. So 15-24.
And that's 7's rugby. You know, it doesn't take very long. Mr. Fitzgerald rocking a fantastic beard. Looking a little bit like the Mountain Man.
It's very majestic.
It is a majestic beard. And we missed another one. So what are we, 9 points in it?
So 2 tries will get it done. With conversions.
Right. Okay.
Oh, no, 2 tries. They'll put them on 25 points.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 unanswered tries, though, was the biggest one.
Yeah, it's open. They've got to be disciplined now in the defence and not rush up. And then as soon as I say it, that's what we do. Have we got an overlap here? There is an overlap here. In the pass didn't go to hand. It's a let-off for the Southern Bulldogs.
Oh, good inside pass there.
And he'll streak away.
So just as the Bulldogs were having a sniff being right back in it, Burnside increased their league. Bit of showmanship.
That's what we like to see, though. That's what 7's is about. It's about a little bit of ego. That's what it's about. 7's is about the pretty players being able to play without the big ugly forwards getting in the way.
And with a conversion successful, it puts the scores Bulldogs 15 with Burnside at 31. As we start creeping in towards the closing end of this match.
Yeah, and I mean, and they've played a lot of games today, so fatigue's going to be a thing here. There's big breaks between the games, and it's the ability to keep yourself going after, you know, a long, hard day. So the fatigue's going to start kicking in now, and there's going to be a little bit more space opening up. He's got to work his way backwards, I think. Just get him a bit more time and space. Doesn't want to die with that ball. Too many Burnside players there for it to be. Well, he's got away with it. Tackler not rolling away, and has he made his break? No, he's got Nigel Lamsam just with a handful of shirt, and that's a good steal. Now with the broken play counter. Well, and I think that's what we're talking about with the fatigue. I think earlier on in the day you probably would have seen the Burnside player show and go there and draw and give.
This is
now a lineup. This is going to be interesting.
This is quite entertaining because I think that the one experienced Union player, Reese Gerd, out there, you can see him just in the sidelines. So these league boys do not know what they're doing.
Hamish is at the front. He's a Union boy.
Oh yeah, no, true that.
And he's a forward, so he's got a good understanding of the lineup. Very good hands for a forward, Hamish. Just dropping the head and looking for a gap there. So again, there's a 2-man overlap out there, and I think it's the rugby league mentality of
run straight, run hard.
Run straight, run hard.
There's definitely plenty of talent in this Bulldog side, but
certainly is.
I think that rugby mentality has almost been their greatest opponent throughout the course of this carnival.
Yeah, and it will be. The rugby union laws they're not easy. They're not designed, I think, to be understood by everyone. It gives the referees a sense of self-importance if they're the only ones who understand it. Kind of like being a mason.
Oh, a big up and under with a pass there to Fitzgerald.
No, that's really good. What he's done there is really good. So he's let it go, got to his feet, and then he can go at it again. So that's really intelligent play, really clever play, and he's given them a scrum 5 metres out. 3-man scrums in Rugby 7's. I think this is the first scrum we've had. I haven't seen one.
The scrums have been very interesting. The team feeding the ball has only about 50-50 been the team that comes out with it. It's been very, very contested inside the scrums throughout the course of the tournament. So they've actually, unlike especially league where it's almost just a formality, they've definitely played a very large role in this particular game.
Yeah, and again, that's really solid work from the league boys in the scrum. That's really nice. The referee's got the front row for driving up. And,
now we've hit full time, so this will be the last play. And the Bulldogs do cross over the line.
There's some good old rugby league power. Just drop the shoulder.
And here we are. The last play of the Festival State Rugby 7's bowl final will be a Bulldogs try, a nice consolation because the win does go towards Burnside. The margin still undecided with this conversion. Successful. Fair enough.
You sound so surprised.
I'm allowed to be. Their last conversion was probably registered as the worst one of the comp,
Yeah.
so that one looked a little bit more difficult, but they managed to pull it off. 22 Southern Bulldogs, 31 Burnside is the final scores as we wrap up the Festival State Rugby 7's bowl final. Good close game.
A really close game. The scoreline looks better at the end of the game than it did at half-time.
It certainly did. I think there was a strong momentum shift Bulldogs' way, and I think that they've got a promising future.